Isang love letter para sa'yo. Feast servant. Servant mahal. Alam namin napapagod ka rin. Minsan nagdududa. Yung nakakapansin ba? Yung mga simpleng bagay na ginagawa mo, yung tahimik na dasal, yung pabor na hindi mo na mabilang, yung pagngiti kahit sa loob-loob mo, hirap, yung pagtulong kahit walang pumapalakpak. Pero gusto namin malaman mo, nakikita ka. Ni Lord at ng mga taong pinaglilingkuran mo. Sa bawat sakripisyo, sa bawat maliit na oo, nakikita ka. Hindi to tungkol sa dami ng ginagawa. Hindi sa laki ng posisyon, kundi sa laki ng puso. Sa pagmamahal mong hindi humihinto. Itong feast natin, ang tahanan na to, nabuo dahil sa mga pusong katulad ng sayo. Hindi to nagsimula sa ilaw, o sa tugtugan, o magandang LED wall. Nagsimula to sa isang taong nagsabi ng, sige, ako na lang. Nagambag, nagpakita, nanalangin, habang wala nakatingin. Tapos dumami tayo. May sariling feast, may sariling LG, may sariling service. At sa bawat kwento at usad ng oras, laging may servant katulad mo na punong-puno ng halaga. At kung makakalimutan mong mahalaga ka, eto ang paalala. Nakikita ka. At sa puso ng community na to, mahal na mahal ka.
Why do you do what you do? Why do you show up even when it's hard? Why do you serve when no one's watching? Why do you work? Why do you dream? Why do you sing? Why do you dance? Why do you care? Because deep down, you know you were made for this. God created you for a purpose. To love Him. To love others. To live fully right here, right now.
Beneath the sky, every soul has its place. Starlit paths guide us through time and space. Destined by nature, with love we embrace. Carried by the winds, we find our own grace. No golden lines, just the truth we create. Living each moment, accepting our fate. Unnamed gifts shine beyond riches estate. In the heart of us all, love opens the gate. Made for this, a space to exist. Pressure forms the pearl, we persist. Born from the earth, we can't resist. To love and be loved, we're made for this. Made for this, a space to exist. Pressure forms the pearl, we persist. Born from the earth, we can't resist. To love and be loved, we're made for this. Every breath we take's a step in lifespan. Whispering hopes, each heartbeat's a plan. Hands paint the future, from coast to the land. Though life's journey curves, we learn to stand. With light in our hearts, never drowned by despair. Creations in abundance, dreams fill the air. Every mark of joy, each burden we bear. When we love without limits, we follow the flare. Destiny calls and we rise to the quest. With love in our souls, we give life our best. From humble paths to heights in love, we invest. Our gifts are our guide, in love we find this. Made for this, a space to exist. Pressure forms the pearl, we persist. Born from the earth, we can't resist. To love and be loved, we're made for this.
So many are trapped in anxiety and sadness. And I should know, I've had COVID. And you know what really helped me was meditation, prayer, taking a pause to pray and spend time with God. Now, I know a lot of people, they are afraid of the word meditation. It's like, oh, no, that's like sitting cross-legged, right? And being there for hours. No, it's something so simple. In fact, what I want to do now is to teach you a very simple meditative prayer. Are you ready? Here we go. I want you to inhale deeply. That's right, just inhale deeply. And then exhale your stress, your tension. That's right. And then in your next inhale, pray and say, I find rest. I find rest. And then in your exhale, say, I let go. Inhale again, the presence of God. I find rest. And then exhale, I let go. I let go of my stress. I let go of my worry. I let go of my fear. And then inhale, the love of God. Inhale, I find rest. You are resting in the love of God. And then you exhale all that does not belong right now in the presence of the Lord. The presence of God is embracing you now, and you rest in that love. Now you keep on doing that. Just keep on doing that. I have a book that I came out with. It was a result of my COVID experience. The title of the book is Find Your Surrendered Place. And I pray that you will indeed find that place. You can grab my book and then let it be your guide through this beautiful place that you need to be in. Wherever you are right now in your life, I pray that you will find your way to your surrendered place. The same way that I found mine. God bless you.
Mapping 101 Thursdays is up next.
This program is rated PG. It contains themes and scenes which may not be suitable for very young audiences. Parental guidance is advised.
Hey everyone, and we are back once again. And we've missed you, especially that we have been going through endless overtimes that we got. And this your Durbo speaking, and we are now on the Mapping 101 Thursdays on our Thursdate Primetime of our DP24 Integrated Media. Basically, we will be going to fix the map where practicable, especially that we have been spotting through series of turn restrictions that could appear navigating to by our fellow transport network companies and the respective vehicle services. And by all means that we will spot down those anomalous maps that we are going to track it down. And now, as we are going through these live fixes of our maps, please be advised that we have some sort of thunderstorms happening here in Quezon City right as we speak. So if you're here watching to outdoors or commuting, please be on heightened alert. Especially that those thunderstorms became unexpectedly while we're going to configure this out, the live feed. Especially that we are heading to this errors and omissions that we have to correct right away. But thunderstorms came, so we advise everyone to please be careful on your travel, and likewise kindly heed to these thunderstorm warnings and advisories that might release sooner or later live on our Mapping 101 Thursdays. But for the meantime, we are going to this live mapping session. But in order for us to do something that would be more worthy, then of course we will be going to these maps that we are going to fix. So let's head on to this. Right as we speak, this powered by OpenStreetMap and contributors, which is licensed under the Open Database license, and we are airing on the fair use, especially that this concerns the copyright. But if you're tuning in from Africa, then there's for you. This state of the map Africa is coming to 26 to 28 June 2026. So please visit 336.stateofthemap.africa for more information. And now we will be going to these recent restrictions that are fixed, particularly on Del Monte Mayon Junction interchange, where the left turns aren't allowed anymore. Not even from Mayon Street, not even from the Highway 160, Andres Bonifacio Avenue on the southbound, You need to make a detour on either left at the Mauban from the southbound Highway 160 or go into the loop via Dome Street, then Cabatuan Street, then right to Highway 130, which is C3 Sergeant Rivera. And some roadways are closed temporarily, especially on the portions of Maria Clara, Calamba, towards Highway 130, which corresponds to Gregorio Araneta Avenue. And if you exit to after the opposite Santo Domingo Church by mistake, you need to force a right turn, then make a U-turn at the designated U-turn slot that would add up to the congestion woes. The alternate is this. Make a right at Highway 130 from Highway 170 ramp, then left to Caliraya Street, then left to Champaca Street, then right to Scout Tratoco Street to destination. Similar thing, it's the opposite way. If you're heading northbound Highway 130 without ever crossing or using the U-turn slot allocated for Highway 170 Quezon Avenue. But here's the catch. If you're going home from Araneta Cubao to Dasmariñas City to City Bus Line 59, you need to proceed right away into AIA PNB Pure Gold platform, which is located at the opposite Cubao Elementary School. Ever since that, the MRT 3 Farmers Plaza at the ground floor is no longer allowed. But please be advised that it is still the pick and drop. And upon information from our friends from Feast Novotel, there is something changing at the central portion that we will be zooming in right now. Fiesta Carnival is no longer available. And the central portion has been torn already based on the available information that we got, but we couldn't take some sort of photos for some reason due to privacy related concerns, especially inside the Araneta City premises. Likewise, this would be but not on the software that we're going to be using. We apologize for some mistakes that got occurred while we're using this. we will be stopping right at the editing failure message, so we could switch it over to the OpenStreetMap portal proper. And now, here's the editor that we are going to use. The Java OpenStreetMap editor. And the imagery we'll be using is the S3 World imagery. Contrary to what it has been happening at the interior, some of the portions of the buildings have been torn down. And we will be going to use the life cycle and likewise, since this building got demolished already, the main door entrance has been removed and some of the nodes are to be either relocated or removed altogether. This one will no longer be used. Sad to say that those building demolitions got underway. And this one is also closed as well. Therefore, we will be going to move our nodes into these locations. But please be careful if you're going to move these nodes, especially if we're going to split this building into a half. As per some information that we have got, though we will preserve these driveways on the underground, we advise everyone to please consider removing or deactivating such features as soon as these features are no longer fit for use. And we suggest that the tag of the access equals no should be used. And right as we're speaking, we will be moving some sort of a node from this to this, and from this to this. since we're going to split this building pieces into a half, we will be able to select these two nodes on the both sides, then there you have it. The remainder of the building should be available. But here's the disclaimer, especially if you're going to map these already demolished buildings. Of course, we have to map these foot into a no in order to prevent it from being used as a navigation. And likewise, we will be going to map separately the sidewalk as far as we are concerned with regards to the pedestrian safety. And since we have mapped everything, we have to check out what's happening on the ground. And right now, Quezon City is already raining, so we have to upload the change set. And now imagine that if we're going to upload all of this, but this would take some time to reflect on our live maps. And the thunderstorm got occurred here in Quezon City, so if you're commuting, please take a minibus or city bus immediately. Or if practicable, UV Express would work on some cases. And right here, we will going to refresh the map for some seconds or minutes that would take, depending on the vendor. And the building, we will switch something the display. Right as you speak, the Fiesta Carnival building has been torn into 2 pieces. Whereas this is what happened in reality. And likewise, we're going to take note of the mapping 101 Thursdays issues wherein the motorcycle taxi should no longer be allowed to enter. And likewise, we will split into these 2 portions. So, motorcycle and moped and even mofa would no longer be allowed to pass through in this tiny portion. And likewise, we're going to have some sort of a destination related restriction, and we will remove this name tagging so that this should no longer be appeared on the maps. And since there are 3 cyber park buildings. And there's a missing building that we have spotted right there. We will go away to fix this. Such missing buildings would cause an inconvenience for most people right there. And likewise, we will be going to map this out, excluding those details of the buildings that we have mentioned. So we will be going to delegate this to those of more knowledgeable about those buildings in question. And likewise, the cyber wireless map with and also cyber part 2. Of course, we will be going to map this out, cyber part 3. And likewise, we're supposed to have a haircut tonight, but for safety reasons, we will be postponing until this got subsided. And hopefully, there will be some sort of fish lights within Araneta City, particularly dedicated to our fellow Catholic workers working right here. Likewise, we have map already. This missing roadway that should be mapped. And there's a missing KFC branch that needs to be mapped as well. And of course, we're going to map this one as a fast food. And right as we speak, Quezon City is still raining, so if you're indoors, please do shelter in place right away. Seems that there is a thunderstorm going on right as we speak, and there is a possibility of a thunderstorm by tomorrow, but the humidity will make the high feel like 42 degrees, so please be more careful, especially if you're heading towards the Independence Day celebration. And now, what are we going to do is to map something but we have run out of time, especially that we haven't activated some sort of, you know, preset tagging or some sort of a plugins that should be activated. Uh-oh. There's some technical issues that we have been going through. But we have resolved this one. Still, the name suggestion index and now we are having some difficulties on mapping through all of this missing POIs that needs to be fixed. And hopefully this should be fixed as well, because this could be quite dangerous if this goes under map. And now we are going to search for some sort of restaurants, fast food chains that has to be mapped. And we're going to some sort of mapping. That missing attributes, be likely that there's even a trust issue. And therefore, and now we have completed some sort of this mapping challenge that we have encountered. And then we have guests that stand already on purpose. Say, we have added already bit of this building information that we got. And we're going to move these three missing ones into the existing one. And lo and behold, there are even spare nodes to avail of. And then we've got we've got you. we're going to get through this hardships that we have been faced, whether it's a face-to-face or online. Let's remember that we've got you at the side. And well, if we're going to map this easier, then we must do something in order not to get us into an issue. Of course, We'll get into this. It's possible. And right now, right as speak, we will be going to correct this one. Especially that we have realized something that this middle portion should be a part of the gateway mode 2 and not the other way around. And now we're going to map the rest. And this one is a part of a new building. And likewise, we're going nearer to this old and the new. This one is part of the Gateway Mall 2 network. And this one is a Gateway Mall 1. And therefore, this Araneta Coliseum still be as is. And we have unconnected nodes as a result of these developments. And someone. We have missing, or we have untagged ways. And let's remember this one. We have to map these untagged ways as soon as possible, and it's practicable. One node left. And we got it uploaded right away, especially if this concerns a proper navigation and of course a proper way of doing these things to be done in efficient manner and efficient service, right? As we need. And that's it. Avaneta City got fixed. And speaking of Dasmariñas City, last Sunday, we have warned everyone not to make an illegal turns, especially if you're heading towards Elijah Hotel and Dasmariñas City Medical Center, whereas Feast Dasmariñas got held at the Elijah Hotel. And we have an information wherein we got a missing commercial building here. And now we're going to map this out. If this one is a sidewalk, this one is a driveway, well, this one is a valid one. And now we're going to some sort of a correction right here for that missing driveway that needs to be mapped. And we have a sidewalk here, but there is a challenge wherein we should have to relocate elsewhere the bus stop in order not to get caught in the middle of something like a waiting shed. And this one, we could safely map this one as a pedestrian crossing. And we should relocate it to here in order not to interfere with something like a waiting shed that are meant to be for a new and developing media. But anyways, you have set this as a jersey barrier in order to prevent these illegal turns from happening. And this one should be a no U-turn here and a no U-turn here, since this one should be treated as a one-way entry at all costs. Both should be on the asphalt. Both should be on the asphalt as well. And then they should be a designated left and U-turn stop. And now we are going to map this one. And no illegal turns are allowed. One way should be mapped properly. And we would introduce this it's straight only here. And this one is a no U-turn. in that way or one another, this should force also force a right turn in order to prevent this from happening. And then no access will be implemented here. And now, we're going to upload these restrictions and now we have a comprehensive reform on the Salawag Junction interchange, whereas turn restrictions have been defined, and also we have defined a missing building, and likewise, believe it or not, we should have map already. But however, we have running into a conflict. And hopefully, this should be resolved in our favor. And now we have some sort of erratic mapping that needs to solve. on our favor. And such errors should be corrected. Perhaps haircut could be postponed by tomorrow since the weather is not cooperating well. And right now, we're going back to the live mapping 101 Thursdays right here on our DP24 General TV and Education TV channels. We are going to switch on what will be the outcome of this mapping fixes that we have done recently. And going beyond what it means that since we have mapped such and it's now 20:59 Philippine time, and we have added a building that stands for the Wilcon Depot, and we're going to refresh several times until we've got the result. And since we've got this result of these fixes that we have got traffic flow for the Salawag Junction interchange should be much better if you're going to book to Grab or move it. And several riders have cited already for violating such traffic rules and regulation on the ground. I've warned everyone to take these signages seriously since there are so many cameras rolling around in the form of either a dash cam or a Tesla cam or a fixed signal light based surveillance cameras that might get used for the non-contact apprehension, particularly if this goes viral, then it would grab the LTO's attention that would result into this cease and desist and show cause order. And if you have received that one, unfortunately, that you have been preventively suspended pending under investigation. And once the outcome of the investigation got resulted into a further suspension or revocation, then we have no choice but to respect the decision, since of course a misbehavior. And now, as we have noticed, there's no way for anyone to do such illegal maneuvers right here. Especially if you're using an OpenStreetMap based applications like those of the Osman, Grab, and even Jollibee Delivery and Move It. Then of course, routing would go in accordance to the rules. So without further ado, line 68 got resumed to service, especially if you're heading towards from General Trias, particularly Walter Mart General Trias via Palipaan towards the northbound through Bacoor Dasmariñas Highway, then Bacoor Boulevard to Manila Cavite Expressway, all the way via Parañaque ITX, and in some cases, all city buses would pass through Macapagal all the way to Hilpuyat, then a U-turn slot towards Vito Cruz or Quirino Avenue, then Taft towards Loton Santa Cruz as its destination. let's say Cayedo Interchange Station will be the checkpoint. Then going southwards via Parañaque. No, via Redemptoris Asiana. But for Redemptoris Asiana, there's no way. And instead be routed to Macapagal, towards Manila Cavite Expressway, to Bacoor Interchange, to Bacoor Boulevard, Bacoor Dasmariñas Highway, towards Palipaan Unita, where this gets interesting. Line 67 and 68 will make a right turn, whereas line 32 will make a left towards respective terminals. And now, there is a development here going on, particularly with the establishment of Walter Mart Paliparan. That would be coming up soon. And there are several developments going underway, particularly in Mangahan General Trias City. And that includes the Walter Mart General Trias as its starting point for lines 67 and 68 towards the National Capital Region. And hopefully, passengers will be able to enjoy their commute towards the destinations at this new or developing routing or developmental routing rather, and sooner or later, if everything goes right, there would be a huge development that's coming up for Dasmariñas City soon. And likewise, there's another development going on at Danghai, whereas Alabang Global City might get established for the businesses and leisure park. And now, here are the guidelines that we need to do something. The South Alabang PhilInvest South Station for the southbound buses are only allowed for arrivals. And there's a new traffic scheme already in place for Alabang PhilInvest North Interchange. Whereas both coming from the Skyway Upgrade and the Skyway Elevated have a single mid-exit already. But for the upgrade, only the light vehicles are allowed. No buses, no trucks are allowed to pass through. Vista Terminal Exchange is still going as usual. And of course, there would be a low-rise fast food chain that is coming up sooner or later. And now, we are supposed to see about further developments, but you have to avoid such things that would run into the conflict of interest. And of course, we will be going to follow the lead of the Q City Bus Line 7, whereas there are clearly defined terminal stations, bus stop platforms, particularly the C5 Metro Poly and something's going on with this wherein they shouldn't be mapped. They shouldn't be mapped since they are interfering already with this. Existing QCT Bus Line 7 and this one should never be appeared twice. Unless there is a good fate. This one is not allowed ever. But for C5, Eastwood North Gentex Interchange Station, this one is mapped. And another one which has been signed already as the authorized bus stop. That would mean it would be a platform A and a platform B for some cases. And this one, and we think that this should be a template for further research and development. And now, this one is still a problematic because you have phased out already for the rest of the city bus lines. And this one, wherein we're not supposed to select that pole, but we have already this one serve as a platform, so no need for some sort of a mix-ups. And then we have the C5 Katipunan interchange station that has been mapped already. But we're going to update you once we have mapped this Santa Clara de Manila as its secondary bus stop for some cases. And then we have a development going on wherein jeepney station has been relocated, citing national newspaper report from Daily Tribune. So those who have been affected have been relocated properly. And of course, we have the LRTA side for the Katipunan interchange station, whereas the MRT line 2 and the Q City bus line 3 have been stationed here. And of course, we have a 30 minutes travel time towards Welcome Rotunda. Then we have a fair difference wherein for going to the work site instead of the usual staff house course, well, not going to mention the staff house and the work site for privacy and security reasons. And the Central Cloverleaf construction and another construction in progress for the Cloverleaf tribe south in progress. That one-way traffic flow is still implemented until the construction got completed. Bagong Barrio Station still under rehabilitation, so there is a possibility of a lengthened rehabilitation going on for this EDSA rehabilitation. And mind you guys, speaking of Cubao, wherein it has been mentioned as a central point for Quezon City, but due to some sort of transportation related issues for this Araneta Cubao interchange station, whereas a missing BRT station have found out lately, then it has been included in the pipeline to include Monte de Piedad Cubao BRT station included in this bus stop or a bus station for BRT. And if we're going to zoom this in further, this station will be built, which is very close to the bus terminal and even farther north for the NEPA Q-Mart interchange station. And this one, if we're going to diagnose this properly, this should be recognized for the CQ City Bus Line 3 and BRT Line 1 Act interchangeability. And please be mindful that the Q Citizen Homes Cambridge construction is still underway, and there is more likely that the portion of the Cambridge Street where the Q Citizen Homes Cambridge construction is ongoing will have some sort of a road closure. And don't you worry that if this Monte de Piedad Cubao BRT station got completed, then access to City Bus Lines 3 and 59 will be closest to possibility. And also, the Philinvest Mall, Cubao, and Araneta City, and even Cubao Elementary School for our students right there. And if we're going to refresh this page, the Gateway Mall 2 have expanded already. And the Gateway Mall 1 have reverted. So mind you guys, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, and to our fellow feasters, sweethearts, kapuso, kapatid, kapanalig, kaservisyo, and even ka-commuter, ka-metrolink. This Araneta City have transformed from center to a city. And here's the problem that we've got. Apparently, government agencies are yet to update their end into Araneta City, whereas they are still using the old name Araneta Center, which is highly visible for the line 2, but for the line 3, the station platform exteriors have correctly shown Araneta Cubao in order to prevent some sort of branding related infringements. And hopefully, Quezon City government and even the national government will listen to the people. Whereas the proper naming should be standardized as well. And likewise, the Cyberpark 3 have appeared already. That instead of being invisible from the map, of course, this got into more visibility. And this one got split into 2, sadly. But moreover, we could outcome the challenges that we had. This one might get demolished permanently, and this one might get demolished as well. Affected tenants could get or could be relocated as well. And mind you, guys, especially to a fellow feasters right there, if you're attending to the feast Novotel every Sunday, of course, the capacity got into a way full, almost full capacity. Or should we say 80% for more accurate reading. And if there are no mitigations provided for the ever increasing population of those attendees, then sooner or later we will be running out of seats, in which we don't like to happen. That's why Feast Novotel will make a room this July. And as such, there are some programming changes to happen right here by tomorrow or Saturday. Most likely it would be after the serve call, wherein we could announce right away the announcements for the programming changes to happen. First things first, we will be having our Fiestas Marinas as usual this Sunday, but this would mean that we will be announcing a changes for this end of Sunday. Of June. All over Fiestas Marinas TV channel. So please stay tuned for the announcements. And of course, we will be staying for good for the remainder of our work here in Quezon City. Perhaps many of you are wondering why we are airing right now this Mapping 101 Thursdays instead of every Thursday. Simply because we have some sort of schedules, conflicts in schedules that we have been encountered. But right now, we're doing our best to mitigate these conflicts of schedule caused by the overtime that we have been going through. And likewise, we apologize for the inconvenience that we have been going through on our end. But don't you worry, by tomorrow, we could be able to gather at the feast you built this afternoon, right, right after our work. And by all means that we will be able to make a live broadcast for the first time tomorrow, live from the location in Manila City, which is nearest or nearer to the MRT Line 2 Recto Terminal Station. But we are heading towards the direction that we are aiming to. In this Mapping 101 Thursdays, we are going to aim to fix the map that we are certain about. Particularly to our fellow Grab drivers, Move It riders, and of course, to the general public through Osman app. And of course, we will assure you that if we have a variable schedule, we will inform you ahead of time, and this might change subject to the overtime work times that we have to fulfill. So without further ado, that's enough of this commentaries, but thank you very much for tuning in to our Mapping 101 Thursdays, and we've missed you a lot. Especially that we have been gone for almost a month from the last episode, but we have recovered. And still, the episode 3 goes through. So be safe, be well, stay strong, stay sane, stay dry, and you are loved. This has been your Turbo. Have a good night, sweet dreams, and God bless us all.
Isang love letter para sa'yo. Feast servant. Servant mahal. Alam namin napapagod ka rin. Minsan nagdududa. Yung nakakapansin ba? Yung mga simpleng bagay na ginagawa mo, yung tahimik na dasal, yung pabor na hindi mo na mabilang, yung pagngiti kahit sa loob-loob mo, hirap, yung pagtulong kahit walang pumapalakpak. Pero gusto namin malaman mo, nakikita ka. Ni Lord, at ng mga taong pinaglilingkuran mo. Sa bawat sakripisyo, sa bawat maliit na oo, nakikita ka. Hindi to tungkol sa dami ng ginagawa. Hindi sa laki ng posisyon, kundi sa laki ng puso. Sa pagmamahal mong hindi humihinto. Itong feast natin, ang tahanan na to, nabuo dahil sa mga pusong katulad ng sayo. Hindi to nagsimula sa ilaw, o sa tugtugan, o magandang LED wall. Nagsimula to sa isang taong nagsabi ng, sige, ako na lang. Nagambag, nagpakita, nanalangin, habang wala nakatingin. Tapos dumami tayo. May sariling feast, may sariling LG, may sariling service. At sa bawat kwento at usad ng oras, laging may servant katulad mo na punong-puno ng halaga. At kung makakalimutan mong mahalaga ka, eto ang paalala. Nakikita ka. At sa puso ng community na to, mahal na mahal ka.